Do you ever wonder how artists figure out their style? I notice a lot of beginners are preoccupied with finding theirs, so I want to let you in on a little secret. You already have a style. You just need to do some self-discovery and nurture it. While we chat today, I'm drawing some Lavender Town characters in my style. Drawing other people's characters can be a fun way to incorporate new elements into your work. Her videos on art helped me a lot when I was first getting serious about drawing, so it seemed fitting for this topic. So what even is an art style? Art style is the patterns we notice when you look at a bunch of work drawn by an artist. If you feel like you have zero art style, the first thing you need to do is keep drawing. Over time, you'll notice you draw a lot of the same things. That's a good starting point. I'd say mine is drawing cute girls with just a little bit of edge. I tend to use the sky, ocean, outer space, and spooky motifs, and my palettes tend to be around sunset colors. Style is this balance between an artist's taste and their technique. Let's start with taste. Taste is what we notice first, which includes the subject, the overall vibe, whatever colors or topics they're drawn to, stuff like that. Expanding your taste starts with observation. You might notice that you're obsessed with how someone draws eyes or how someone else layers their textures. If you want to expand your taste, find what it is about a piece that you like and steal it. Here's how this works. You're browsing some art and you're obsessed with how somebody poses their characters. Open your sketchbook and copy the poses. Then later, when you're reading a manga and you can't help but notice how good the eyes look at different angles, find the panels you like and copy the heads and the eyes. The next day, you're watching a speed paint posted by an artist you admire. See if you can follow along with how they lay down their colors. In the art world, we call this a master copy, as in you're copying the work of a master. It's a great way to incorporate aesthetics you like into your work, but make sure you copy from a wide variety of sources. If you focus too much on a single artist, it'll show in your work in a not great way, in like a, oh, we have Sam Does Arts at home type of way. You'll get in your own way if you put too much stock into what any individual person is doing. Also, don't try to pass off a master copy as your original work. This practice is meant to help you develop your own style, so just keep it to yourself. Or at the very least, please credit people. Let's look at the second part of style, which is how it's made. If aesthetics are the front-facing aspect of style, your technique works behind the scenes to prop up your artistic vision. Someone who likes rendering will probably feel most at home in a painterly style. If you're good at perspective and composition, then storyboarding or concept art could be a good fit. A good place to start is by exploring what you already make and what skills come naturally to you. So, I'm really into character design, and I feel my best when I focus on shape and color. I like stylizing things more than rendering them, and I have fun when I experiment with clothes and hair. I tend to be most in my element when I focus on designing things rather than painting or telling stories through my work. If you need help uncovering your strengths, try experimenting with different mediums and see what stays the same in your art when you're using different tools. For example, acrylic paint is going to need a different approach from colored pencil, but you might notice there's similarities between your works even when you're using different supplies. I find that I enjoy using gradients combined with cell shading, which are much easier to do in watercolor or marker than something like acrylic and gouache. You can still do it, but you have to change the way you lay down your color to achieve the same effect. If you're willing to take the extra time to make a gradient with colored pencils that could have been done in 10 seconds with watercolor, that's a sign that you like using gradients. So pay attention to whatever techniques feel like the path of least resistance for you in your workflow. Here's how that works for me. I hate brainstorming digitally, but I enjoy doodling on paper. I struggle to experiment with color in my sketchbook because I hate feeling like I ruined a good drawing with bad color. So I work with that. I start my sketches on paper, I work out the colors and shading digitally, and then I use my digital drawing as a roadmap for how to do the colors on paper. Alright, now that we've uncovered some of your strengths, let's take a long, honest look at why you suck at this. Now, we're not here to beat ourselves up, okay? This is all in the name of learning. I need you to trust the process. Most artists learn ways to work around the stuff that we're bad at so we can get to the fun parts. Of course, we don't want to use, "oh, that's just my style," as an excuse to avoid working on our fundamentals, but a good art band-aid can make our weaknesses less obvious in our final work while we do some training behind the scenes. Here's the magic. A good workaround that meshes well with your style can make your art stand out as uniquely yours. So if drawing hands slows you down, draw them like a mitten until you feel like you're actually ready to study it. If you hate backgrounds, see how you can use shapes or patterns behind the character to bring out their silhouette instead. Here's a few ways I've done this. I have a hard time getting the whites in the eyes to look good, so one day I just stopped coloring them. I've always struggled to approach color like a painter, so I decided a flat, shape-heavy style suited my skills better. I'd say one of the most iconic parts of my style are the bold, chunky outlines. That came to be back when I had horrible line control and it was easier for me to follow a curve if I used multiple lines and then I just colored in the gaps. You can also steal workarounds from other artists with similar goals. Instead of me feeling overwhelmed at the thought of rendering like Mika Picasso, I can notice how Mayoko's approach to color lets her get away with minimal cell shading, and I can borrow from her instead. Sort of off topic, but not really. If the artists you follow are leaving you feeling intimidated or discouraged instead of inspired, replace them in your feed with artists who have similar strengths to you. That'll narrow the perceived skill gap between you and your inspiration, which makes knowing what to steal a lot more achievable. I want to hear what you have to say about discovering art style. If you think there's artists that I should be learning from, let me know who they are. Share your best and worst art traits in the comments, and let's see if we can point each other towards artists that are good sources of inspiration. I appreciate you sticking to the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.